Technology is fueling this revolution. Congress cannot put technology back in the box. There were stories of those who said they were investing in protest.
My name is Vlad Tenev, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Robinhood. We believed then, as we do now, that the financial system should be built to work for everyone.
I would like you to use your limited time to talk directly to what happened January 28th.
I was born in Bulgaria. At the age of 5, I immigrated with my family. We see evidence that most of our customers are investing for the long term. Many brokerage firms saw a massive increase in trading activity in a handful of stocks. Prices were moving dramatically day to day, even hour to hour. The spike in trading activity and volatility meant that Robinhood Securities, our clearing broker, had to hold the line and post additional firm capital as collateral to support our clearinghouse deposit demands. On January 28th, our daily deposit requirement was 10 times more than on January 25th. Robinhood Securities, along with many other firms, imposed temporary trading restrictions on certain securities. Robinhood Securities put the restrictions in place in an effort to meet increased regulatory deposit requirements, not to help hedge funds. We don't answer to hedge funds. To our customers, I'm sorry and I apologize. Please know that we are doing everything we can to make sure this won't happen again.
I want to be perfectly clear. We had no role in Robinhood's decision to limit trading in GameStop.
I am the founder and chief investment officer of Melvin Capital. Many investors on all sides have experienced losses. I want to make clear at the outset that Melvin Capital played absolutely no role in those trading platform decisions. In fact, Melvin closed out all of its positions in GameStop days before the platforms put those limitations in place. Citadel proactively reached out to become a new investor, similar to the investments others make in our fund. It was an opportunity for Citadel to buy low and earn returns for its investors if and when our fund's value went up. I named Melvin after my grandfather, who ran a convenience store. I wanted the firm to represent his values: integrity, hard work, taking care of customers and employees, and commitment to excellence. Most of our investments are long. In other words, we buy stock in companies that create jobs. When our research convinces us that a company will grow relative to expectations, we make a long-term investment. When our research suggests a company will not live up to expectations, and its stock price is overvalued, we might short a stock. We also short stocks because when the markets go down, we have a duty to protect our investors' capital. It's very important to understand that absolutely none of Melvin's short positions are part of any effort to artificially depress or manipulate downward the price of a stock. Specific to GameStop, we had a research-supported view well before the recent events. We had been short GameStop since Melvin's inception 6 years earlier, because we believed and still believe that its business model, selling new and used video games in physical stores, is being overtaken by digital downloads through the internet. A group on Reddit began to make posts about Melvin's specific investments. They took information contained in our SEC filings and encouraged others to trade in the opposite direction. Many of these posts were laced with anti-Semitic slurs directed at me and others. The post said things like, "It's very clear we need a second Holocaust. The Jews can't keep getting away with this." The unfortunate part of this episode is that ordinary investors who were convinced by a misleading frenzy to buy GameStop at $100, $200, or even $483 have now lost significant amounts. Investors in Melvin suffered significant losses. It is now our job to earn it back.
My name is Steve Huffman. I am the co-founder and CEO of Reddit, and I'm pleased to talk with you today about how Reddit works. The closest we could find was a single comment that received no votes and was deleted within 5 minutes. Such speech is not tolerated on Reddit. The specific community we'd like to talk about today is Wall Street Bets. I will stress that Wall Street Bets is first and foremost a real community. The self-deprecating jokes, the memes, the crass at times language all reflect this. A few weeks ago, we saw the power of community in general and of this community in particular when the traders of Wall Street Bets banded together at first to seize an investment opportunity not usually accessible to retail investors. With the increase in attention, Wall Street Bets unsurprisingly faced a surge in traffic and new users. At Reddit, our first duty in these situations is to our communities, and our role in this moment was to keep Wall Street Bets online. We scaled our infrastructure, made technology changes to help this community withstand the onslaught of traffic, and we acted as diplomats to help resolve conflict within Wall Street Bets leadership. We have since analyzed the activity in Wall Street Bets to determine whether bots, foreign agents, or other bad actors played a significant role. They have not. In every metric we checked, the activity in Wall Street Bets was well within normal parameters, and its moderation tools were working as expected. Wall Street Bets may look sophomoric or chaotic from the outside, but the fact that we're here today means they've managed to raise important issues about fairness and opportunity in our financial system. I'm proud they use Reddit to do so.
I'm happy to discuss with the committee my purchases of GameStop shares, and my discussions of their fair value on social media. It is true that my investment in that company multiplied in value many times. For that, I feel enormously fortunate. I also believe the current price of the shares demonstrates that I've been right about the company. A few things I am not. I am not a cat. I am not an institutional investor, nor am I a hedge fund. I do not have clients, and I do not provide personalized investment advice for fees or commissions. I'm just an individual whose investment in GameStop and posts on social media were based upon my own research and analysis. From 2010 to 2017, I worked at a few startup companies, but there were significant periods when I was unemployed. I took an interest in the stock market, and even though I had very little money, I used those times to educate myself and learn more about investing. In April 2019, after nearly 2 years unemployed, I accepted a marketing and financial education job at MassMutual. My wife Caroline and I were thrilled that I had an income and benefits. My job was to help develop financial education classes that advisors could present to prospective clients. I was not a stockbroker or a financial advisor. I did not talk to clients, and I did not recommend stocks for them to buy. In early June of 2019, the price of GameStop stock declined below what I thought was its fair value. I invested in GameStop in 2019 and 2020 because, as I studied the company, I became more and more confident in my analysis. Two important factors, based entirely on publicly available information, gave me confidence that GameStop was undervalued. The market was underestimating the prospects of GameStop's legacy business and overestimating the likelihood of bankruptcy. I grew up playing video games and shopping at GameStop, and I plan to continue shopping there. GameStop stores still provide real value to consumers and reliable revenue for GameStop. I believe that GameStop has the potential to reinvent itself as the ultimate destination for gamers within the rapidly growing $200 billion gaming industry. GameStop has a unique opportunity to pivot toward a technology-driven business. By embracing the digital economy, GameStop may be able to find new revenue streams that vastly exceed the value of its business. I am hardly the only person who has advocated these points. When I wrote and spoke about GameStop on social media with other individual investors, our conversations were no different from people in a bar or on a golf course or at home talking or arguing about a stock. Hedge funds and other Wall Street firms have teams of analysts working together to compile research and analyze shares of companies. Individual investors do not have those resources. Social media platforms like Reddit, YouTube, and Twitter are leveling the playing field. The idea that I use social media to promote GameStop stock to unwitting investors and influence the market is preposterous. My post did not cause the movement of billions of dollars into GameStop shares. It is tragic that some people lost money, and my heart goes out to them. But what happened in January just demonstrates again that investing in public securities is extremely risky. As I said earlier, I consider myself and my family fortunate with our investment. When the stock price broke $20 in December, I knew my investment was a success. I was so happy to visit my family in Brockton for the holidays. The money will go such a long way for us. We had an incredibly difficult 2020. Most difficult was the tragic and unexpected loss of my sister Sarah in June. I am grateful to be in a position to give back to and support my family. As for what happened in January, others will have to explain it. It's alarming how little we know about the inner workings of the market. And I am thankful that this committee is examining what happened. I also want to say that I support retail investors' right to invest in what they want, when they want. I support the right of individuals to send a message based on how they invest. As for me, I like the stock. I'm as bullish as I've ever been on a potential turnaround for GameStop, and I remain invested in the company. Thank you. Cheers, everyone.
Isn't it true that being concerned about having enough capital to meet deposit requirements, isn't that a liquidity problem? Or could you just answer yes or no?
Chairwoman Waters, I appreciate the opportunity to address that.
Just yes or no?
We always felt comfortable with our liquidity and the additional capital that Robinhood raised.
Please answer yes or no.
We always felt comfortable with our
5
liquidity.
minutes. I don't have time. I just need a yes or no answer.
I stand by my statement. The additional capital we raised wasn't to meet capital requirements or deposit requirements.
Gentlemen,
Excuse me.
I'm reclaiming my time. This liquidity problem had real consequences for your customers, but I wonder if they were all that surprised. Robinhood customers experienced monetary losses due to system outages. Customer accounts were reportedly compromised. The firm repeatedly failed to testify its best execution obligations, and it misled its customers regarding its revenue sources. It seems retail investors often get a bad deal at Robinhood. Mr. Tenev, also, while you testified today that, quote, Robinhood's customers benefit greatly from payment for order flow, quote unquote, is it your testimony after Robinhood paid the SEC $65 million to settle those charges that this conflict of interest is in your customer's best interest? Yes or no?
We've made mistakes in the past. I'm not claiming that.
Answer yes or no to that question.
So Citadel Securities is an important counterparty. Nobody's denying that. The reason that...
Gentlemen, can answer yes or no? I'm reclaiming my time. Meanwhile, Mr. Griffin, Citadel's role in this event also raises significant questions for policymakers. Citadel Securities pays Robinhood tens of millions of dollars to process trades by Robinhood's customers. This relationship gives Citadel Enterprise key non-public information as to direction and volume of trades by retail investors. Your firm makes use of private exchanges called dark pools. Does Citadel handle 47% of the U.S. listed retail volume? Please, yes or no.
Excuse me, Chairman Waters, what percentage? I couldn't hear that number.
47%.
So, Chairman Waters, to the best
yes
of
or
my
no.
knowledge, so the odd, best of my knowledge, we handle in excess of roughly 40% of all retail volume.
Thank you very much, reclaiming my time.
You get a call in the middle of the night, according to what I've heard you in interviews say. And based off that conversation with your compliance team, you decided to halt the buying of GameStop stock. People were furious. Why did Robinhood restrict the buying but not the selling of GameStop? And why did folks get locked out on the buy side only?
The decision to restrict GameStop and other securities was driven purely by deposit and collateral requirements imposed by our clearinghouses. Buying securities increases our collateral requirements. Selling does not. Moreover, preventing customers from selling is a very difficult and painful experience where customers are unable to access their money. So we don't want to impose that type of experience on our customers unless we have no other choice. And even though I recognize customers were very upset and disappointed that we had to do this, I imagine it would have been significantly worse if we prevented customers from selling.
That decision you made to restrict the buying but not the selling of GameStop was based, what was it based on pressure from anyone on the witness panel here today?
Not at all. Zero pressure from anyone. It was a collateral depository requirement decision made by our Robinhood Securities president.